Elestrals Divine Champions Lifestream Prerelease events start this Friday, September 26th, and run for 1 week leading up to the official release date on October 3rd in the Kissimmee Open. This will be Elestral's first ever official pre-release events at participating local game stores. Whether you're looking to be one of the first to play with cards from the new set, wanting to try a new format other than constructed games, or even looking to just get into the game, a pre-release event is the perfect way to do just that. Elestrals Divine Champions Lifestream Pre-Release will be a sealed format tournament consisting of a starter deck and the included packs. Casters will receive one starter deck of the 4 Lifestream starter deck options: Dionysus, Aphrodite, Khione, or Artemis. Which deck players get or choose will be up to the local game store depending on the size of the pre-release event. Each starter deck includes a set 40 main card deck and 20 card spirit deck, along with 3 booster packs. Casters will also receive the textured full art Stellar Baraboss promo card. Each starter deck will be able to be modified with the cards pulled from the included booster packs to create a 40 card main deck, a 15 card side deck, and a 20 card spirit deck. Casters will be able to edit their spirit decks using spirits provided by their local game store for the event. Casters will then compete in a standard best-of-3 clashes to determine who will stand at the top of Mt Olympus and be crowned champion. In this video, we'll go over each starter deck to review the new mechanics, review the decks and game plans, and key cards included. We will also cover cards to look out for in your booster packs to add to your deck to bolster your strategies and tech out your side deck. This will help casters to determine which divine god they will choose to represent, or the best ways to play with their assigned pantheon. First, let's take a look at the Dionysus starter deck. Dionysus is a new Earth Divine whose effect lets you disenchant an Earth Spirit from this Dionysus in order to target an Elestral and daze it or enrage it until your next turn. Dazed and Enraged are the newest mechanics introduced alongside Dionysus in Lifestream. Let's take a second to review these new mechanics. A Dazed Elestral cannot attack during its controller's battle phase, and an Enraged Elestral must attack if able to, and is always put into attack position during its controller's battle phase. This means that when your battle phase begins, all enraged Elestrals in your control in defense position must change to attack position. Also, if during your battle phase a defense position Elestral on your field becomes enraged, then it is changed to attack position immediately. Finally, if an effect tries to change an enraged Elestral to defense position during its controller's battle phase, it does nothing instead. The length that an Elestral is dazed or enraged is not a set length and depends on the effect used to daze or enrage that Elestral. However, an Elestral cannot be both dazed and enraged at the same time. If an Elestral is currently dazed and then an effect would be played to then make that Elestral enraged, the Elestral would become enraged and no longer be dazed, and vice versa. Dionysus introduces his new champion Elestrals in this starter deck. They are Drataya, Latagon, Sprouter, Satimber, Centarbor, Cyanectar, Wasp Ivy, and Cyprong. New runes included in the deck are Dionysus himself, Thyrsus of Dionysus, Dionysus's Madness, Nectar of the Gods, Dionysus's Chalice, and Poison Nectar, Dionysus's Chalice. The first Elestral I want to mention is Cyprong, Champion of Dionysus. This card looks to be a very strong card with its 4/4 stat line, as well as it being your Dionysus Searcher. It can also destroy a 1 or 2 Spirit Elestral that has 5 or more attack if Cyprong is dazed. This will let you destroy all 2 Spirit Elestrals included in the starter decks, except for a Frostfall Locagon without stat buffs to bring it to a 5 attack. It will also be able to destroy any of the 4 attack 1 Spirit Elestrals being buffed by a Stadium rune at the time. The first essential on this deck are Drataya and Latagon, Champion of Dionysus. Drataya is a receiver who can target and daze an Elestral when it receives an Earth Spirit. And then if the Drataya is enraged, it can special ascend into Latagon and enrage that Latagon until the next turn. Latagon, champion of Dionysus, can target and destroy a face-down rune if enraged, and when it is destroyed in battle or by an opponent's card effect, you can search your deck for an Ambrosia to add it to hand. This line provides nice offensive pressure by being able to quickly ascend into the Latagon and destroy a likely counter rune in your opponent's back row, then get in for damage. The next Ascension line is Cyanectar and Wasp Ivy. This deck includes 2 of both the original Cyanectar and Champion of Dionysus Cyanectar, as well as 1 copy of each Wasp Ivy. Cyanectar, Champion of Dionysus, can search any of the poisoned cards, being Poison Tipped Arrow, Poison Tunic, and Poison Nectar, of which this deck includes 6 copies total. This sets up original Cyanectar with Ascension pieces to go into either Wasp Ivy. When ascending Cyanectar, you can choose between the original Wasp Ivy to be immune to your opponent's counter runes, or the new Wasp Ivy, Champion of Dionysus, which deals piercing damage. Wasp Ivy, Champion of Dionysus, is also enraged if it is ascended from Cyanectar and deals double damage when enraged. Depending on your opponent's board, this allows for a decision between making your opponent's counter runes useless or allows you to hit in for more damage and applying extra pressure to your opponent. The last Ascension line in the deck are Sprouter, Satimber, and Centaur, champions of Dionysus. Sprouter can Nexus an Earth Spirit and search out any of your champions of Dionysus or a Dionysus' Madness. This lets you build your hand with more Elestrals or going wide and ascending to more powerful Elestrals. It also lets you search a powerful counter rune exclusive to this deck. Satimber is a receiver who can target and enrage an opponent's Elestral when it receives Earth. It then acts like a shield of Achilles against enraged Elestrals and allows you to return an opponent's enraged Elestral to their hand when they declare an attack. Centaur, Champion of Dionysus, can be both an offensive threat with 10 attack and a defensive wall with 13 defense, along with clearing your opponent's enraged Elestrals when the battle phase begins, and that is either player's battle phase. Centaur can also daze itself until your next turn in order to special cast a Satimber from hand, deck, or underworld. This means no matter where your Satimber is, it is always live to be cast by Centaur. This combo allows you to get multiple bodies on board while also removing your opponent's Elestrals without even having to attack them. The deck also includes Rummagem to search your 1 Spirit Earth Elestrals and Astrabbit, which is still one of the best cards in the game. Dionysus brings along some new runes with him, like his signature artifact, Thyrsus of Dionysus, which enrages the empowered Elestral and gives it +2 attack. It also allows you to draw a card if Dionysus is enchanted on your board when the empowered Elestral declares an attack. Dionysus' Madness looks to be one of the best new cards introduced into the game. It's a counter rune that allows you to daze or enrage an Elestral until your next turn, along with a secondary effect to enchant an Earth Spirit from your underworld to your Dionysus and change the position of that Elestral you dazed or enraged. Nectar of the Gods Dionysus Chalice and Poison Nectar Dionysus Chalice are new counter runes that require Dionysus to be enchanted to be cast. Nectar of the Gods draws you 3 cards for the cost of discarding an Earth card, and Poison Nectar forces your opponent to discard and burns for 2 damage. Rounding out the rune lineup is 2 copies of Fulaway Forest as your stadium rune, Earthquake for Elestral removal, Thunderstorm for rune destruction, Ambrosia, Pandora's Box, original Poison Tipped Arrow, Poison Tunic, and Shield of Achilles. This deck provides multiple strategies to pursue and powerful effects with each. However, with the offensive pressure it does provide, this deck does lack in the counter rune package. Not having access to Gorgon's Gaze and Tsunami, and only 1 copy of Shield, can leave your Elestrals vulnerable if your opponent is able to answer your push. Look to focus on this area to improve on when opening your booster packs. Aphrodite is the other new divine appearing in Divine Champions Lifestream. Aphrodite is a water divine that allows you to disenchant a water spirit from her to search your deck for a card with the same name as a water celestial on your field and add it to hand. This allows you to thin your deck as well as obtain more copies of your Elestrals or even their titled forms for some powerful combos. New champions of Aphrodite include Dratagua, Locagon, Foamy, Caprigal, Bubloon, Aphoros, Magnaros, and Peliquarius. Dratagua, Locagon, Foamy, Caprigal, Aphoros, and Peliquarius are also included in the deck in their original printings, playing into Aphrodite's ability to search same-named Elestrals. Champion Dratagua allows your Aphrodite to also find a Locagon with her effect. It can also Nexus Water to search out an aquatic Elestral from your deck. Champ Locagon boasts a powerful effect to help swarm the board with powerful Elestrals by being able to special cast a Locagon from hand with 2 water spirits if a Locagon has not been special cast that turn. It also allows you to heal a water spirit if you cast a Dratagua or Locagon, which does count itself when it's cast. This pairs great with the Frostfall Locagon, which can target and destroy cards when you return water from your underworld to your spirit deck. Champion Aphoros and Champion Magnaros make a powerful duo, or quartet. Magnaros allows you to search out an Aphoros or the new Aphrodite soulmates. It also counts as Aphoros, though it stays a thunder card and not a water. Champ Aphoros allows you to start swarming the board with Elestrals by being able to special cast itself from hand with water if you did not special cast an Aphoros that turn. It also provides an attack buff by giving all Aphoros 5 base attack if there are 2 or more Aphoros on your field. Champ Foamy is your searcher for Aphrodite when cast. It also has a hand effect to be discarded along with 1 water spirit in order to search for a 2 spirit water Elestral to add to hand. This allows you to thin your Ascensions out of your deck, as well as basically guarantee the Ascension if you stuck an Elestral to ascend over the turn prior. Champ Caprigal is a powerful 2-spirit Elestral which cannot be destroyed in battle by 1-spirit Elestrals. This prevents 1-spirit Elestrals from gaining stat buffs to get over this Ascension, and starts to demand a response from the opponent to remove it. Champ Bubloon can be discarded along with a water spirit to either heal up to 2 water spirits or enchant those water spirits to a water card on your field. This can set up Nexus Banks, proc healing effects, or buff Elestrals under Atlantis. Lastly, Champ Peliquarius provides a way to quick ascend into your 2-spirit Elestrals if they are in hand. It can Nexus Water and let the receiving Elestral ascend into a water or wind Elestral in hand. Aphrodite brings a signature artifact of her own in the Necklace of Aphrodite. This necklace gives the empowered Elestral the name of every water Elestral and a defense buff of +3. It can also heal 2 water spirits when the empowered Elestral is destroyed by an opponent. This means by battle or card effect. This provides complete searchability for whatever water Elestral you need Aphrodite to add to your hand. Aphrodite's Soulmates is a new counter rune that can only be played when one of your water Elestrals is destroyed and you control another Elestral with the same name. You can then special cast that destroyed Elestral from your underworld. This does use a spirit from Spirit Deck and not from the underworld. This allows you to not lose board presence with your Elestrals if you were already able to swarm it with the same named Elestrals. Returning runes to this deck include the Stadium rune Atlantis, Rise from the Depths to bring back your water Elestrals, Tsunami, the powerful Hurricane, Monsoon of Eurus, Ambrosia, Nectar of the Gods, Resting on Your Laurels, Gorgon's Gaze, and Shield of Achilles. This deck includes a large suite of powerful runes to protect your Elestrals and prevent your opponent's strategies from taking off before you can build your board. This deck may lack the offensive stats to be aggressive early on outside of swarming initially with Aphoros, but has a great rune package to hold off opponents and get the cards you need to start picking off your opponent's board. Look to pick up some extra water Elestrals of the ones included in the deck already to bolster different strategies with Aphrodite's effect at the core. Khione returns in Lifestream to show off the power of her champion Ursa Elestrals and use her underworld powers to bring back needed Elestrals. Khione introduces new Ursa champions in Ursicle, Champion of Khione, Abominursa, Champion of Khione, and Glaciursa, Champion of Khione, while returning Ursko, Champion of Khione from Firestorm, and the original Abominursa and Ursicle from Frostfall. New champions of Khione, Morlith, and Amphrostyx also make their appearance in this deck. Champions Narpoon and Waylance, along with their original printings, return to fight alongside Khione, along with Champion Brummelinx, original Amphrostyx, and Catarant. Khione's bears poised to be powerful searching tools, with Champ Ursicle searching for Khione herself, or her new powerful counter rune, Khione's Frostbite. Original Ursicle will also search out any Ursa card, Elestral or rune, to help your hand/strategy. Champion Ursko can lock down opponent's counter runes and keep them locked down as long as it stays enchanted. Champ Abominursa poises to put some of the largest pressure possible in this format in combination with Khione if it can destroy an opponent's Celestial in battle. If it does, it can Nexus of Frost from Khione to itself and then special ascend into the powerful Champ Glaciursa. Champ Glaciursa forces an opponent to expend spirits equal to the number of spirits enchanting each Khione on your field. Along with it being stronger than every other Elestral besides Posthumous in the starter decks, it can deal extra damage with a fully loaded Khione when clearing your opponent's board. Champ Morlith and Champ Amphrostyx make for a fun combination with Khione to utilize her effect to resurrect Elestrals from the underworld. Morlith can send one Spirit Frost Elestrals to the underworld when you activate Khione's effect, which allows you to add it directly to hand from the deck. Champ Amphrostyx allows you to special cast these one Spirit Frost Elestrals when returned from your underworld. In combination with Champ Morlith and Khione, you can special cast out any one Spirit Frost Celestial from your deck depending on your need. The Narpoon and Waylance lines provide good searching for the deck, along with two powerful Ascensions that can disrupt opponents' decks and deal big damage. Champ Brummelinx now gets a new Blizzard to search, while still being one of the best Frost Elestrals to have, both in battle and in searching Original Blizzard and Mountains of Boreas. Catarant provides needed healing for this Frost deck, and Original Amphrostyx can get the special cast from Underworld if not using the previous combo. Khione brings back powerful Frost runes in her Scepter of Khione, Mountains of Boreas, Blizzard, Cryoblast, and Hibernation. She also brings 3 new powerful runes in Ice Age, Blizzard Whiteout, and Khione's Frostbite. Ice Age looks to be a powerful tool to clear opponents' Elestrals as long as they are not Frost Enchanted. This rune can provide the necessary time early on to get back to an even playing field with your opponent, or devastate them late game to prevent them from making any comeback against you. It does come at a high cost of 3 spirits and requires 2 Frost Spirits to be disenchanted from your board. The best thing to have in combination would be the Scepter of Khione or a loaded up Khione. Blizzard Whiteout is a great new counter rune to prevent your opponent's targeting effects from having an effect on your Frost Enchanted Elestrals and preventing the Elestral from being attacked. Khione's Frostbite looks to be a powerful battle trick with a baseline +3 attack buff, but can be boosted if used later in the game after using multiple Frost runes already. The rest of Khione's rune package rounds out with Ambrosia, Gorgon's Gaze, Pandora's Box, Shield of Achilles, and Spoiled Fruit. A solid rune package to keep your Elestrals alive, as well as prevent your opponents from advancing their game plans. While Khione has powerful tools at her disposal, the consistency may lack, and runes may not always be relevant at times. Look to try and focus on different strategies, depending on what deck you're facing. In our last deck, Artemis returns to hunt down her enemies, bringing in her new champion Fawnlet, Theraheart, Posthumus, and Bandaloon to the party. She also returns the powerful Werepup and Lycovoid lines, both original and champion. Moonrise Fawnlet can search out both Artemis herself or Theraheart. Champ Fawnlet works well with Artemis's effect to prevent it from being destroyed in battle if the opponent has a suppressed card. Champ Theraheart brings a powerful effect to search out a lunar counter rune, which may prove to be the strongest celestial effect in this deck. Champ Posthumus threatens to be an insurmountable wall that suppresses all your opponent's Elestrals if Artemis is enchanted, and provides healing when a suppressed Elestral is destroyed. The Werepup Lycovoid lines will still be threatening in combination with the new lunar phase, Lunar Eclipse. This new rune counts as full moon when on a chain, so it can trigger the Werepup Ascension into Lycovoid along with lunar phase full moon. The rest of the Elestral lineup works nicely with the suppression mechanic in a multitude of ways. Artemis brings along a few new lunar runes that look to be impactful. Artemis's Deadshot acts as a more powerful poison-tipped arrow that works in tandem with Artemis herself. This rune can immediately bring down the boss Elestrals as long as Artemis has enough enchanting lunar spirits to match that Elestral's enchantment cost. Poison-tipped arrow Artemis's arrow is a great invoke rune that helps apply suppression to opponents' Elestrals and decrease their stats. It can also heal Artemis from the underworld if she is enchanted. Lastly, Rise from the Shadows looks to be a super powerful counter rune that brings back your Elestrals with Lunar from the underworld when they are destroyed. This can help keep board presence and spirits on board for further use to keep yourself in the game. The rune package is rounded out with Temple of the Moon, Bow of Artemis, Cryoblast, Ambrosia, Gorgon's Gaze, and Poison-tipped Arrow. The Artemis deck may be the one with the least consistent game plan and slowest gameplay, but with some changes to keep board presence and obtain the cards to get into Posthumus as quickly as possible, it may prove to be the strongest option. Now let's take a look at cards from the main set that can help boost each deck from its base level. We will also look at what cards should be replaced depending on what you pull from your booster packs. Starting off, let's go over a quick review on what a Lifestream booster pack looks like. Each pack includes 10 cards. One card will always be a spirit, so there will be 9 playable cards to choose from each pack for a total of 27 cards. Each pack will contain 4 common cards, 3 uncommon cards, 1 reverse holo, which can come from the pool of commons, uncommons, or non-holo rares, and 1 rare card, which can come from the pool of non-holo rares, holo rares, and full arts. Lifestream has 29 possible common cards, 27 possible uncommon cards, 23 non-holo rares, and 20 holo rares. For ease, we won't include the full arts, stellars, or reverse stellars in these counts, as they do take up the reverse holo or rare slot, but are at different rates and may not be as likely to be pulled. This leaves us with obtaining 12 commons, 9 uncommons, 3 reverse holo, and 3 rares in each booster pack, assuming there are not duplicates in any of theirs. Each deck is likely to benefit most from changes using commons and uncommons, but finding a rare that fits into your existing strategy may just make all the difference if you get lucky. Starting with Dionysus, common cards that you should look to include adding to your main or side deck are Sprouter, Drataya, and Cynectar. Uncommon cards to add include Moss Station, Champion of Demeter, Satimber, Cyprong, Hopperoo, and Poison-tipped Arrow, Artemis's Arrow. Rares to look out for include another copy of Dionysus, Dionysus's Madness, Latagon, Wasp Ivy, and Rise from the Shadows. Other options that can make interesting side deck options could include another Thyrsus of Dionysus, Guardian of Light, Romantis, Barabog, and the Baraboss, since you already received that as the promo, and potentially a combination of Findust and Hibufin, champions of Aeolus. Cards to move to your side deck likely should include the Nectar of the Gods and Poison Nectar Dionysus' Chalice, as they require Dionysus to be enchanted to be used. These cards can brick up your hand or back row if you aren't seeing the necessary combo piece in the deck. So look to add pieces that either help protect your Elestrals, since you will not have Gorgon, Skaze, or Tsunami, or cards that provide extra offensive pressure for the deck. Aphrodite has possibly one of the more rounded out and straightforward builds. Given Aphrodite's synergy of same named Elestrals, look to build upon that with more Foamies, Drataguas, and Bubloons in the common slots, Magnaros, Guardian of Light, and Poison Tipped Artemis Arrow in the uncommon slots. And for rares, look for Aphoros, Aphrodite Soulmates, and Locagon to boost up the power of the deck. Look to potentially replace Resting on Your Laurels if you're finding a better rune, and champion Pelaquarius and an original Aphoros with other Elestrals that might fit the game plan better. Khione has less options in terms of Elestrals due to having a good set of reprints included in her strategy. Finding more bears can help in a more Ursa-focused strategy. However, Catarant Champion of Khione and Iwoolly Champion of Khione are potentially powerful additions in place of some extra Ursas. Finding a more Frost Chimera form in the rare slot will also give you another strong Frost Elestral for your deck. Grabbing an extra Khione's Frostbite, Blizzard Whiteout, or Ice Age won't hurt either. You can look to switch around these extra runes for different deck counts. Artemis has little true benefit to her strategy from the common card pool. However, you could look to add a Fungi Champion of Artemis as it plays off cards becoming suppressed. In the uncommon pool, I would look out for adding another Theraheart, Poison Tipped Arrow, Artemis' Arrow, and Guardian of Light. As for the rares, Brontowisp, Champion of Artemis, could be a possible addition with or without getting a common Fungi champ, as well as another copy of Artemis. I would also look to maybe pick up another Posthumus, as searching for him isn't as easy with only one Comalis in the deck. The biggest additions for Artemis deck would be to add another Lunar Eclipse and Rise from the Shadows for the runes. Lifestream Prerelease looks to be an interesting and fun format to try out. I think each deck has a very powerful strategy that, when it is able to be carried out, can lock down and win the game decisively. I do think each deck has some glaring weaknesses, but that is likely the areas that would have made the decks too overpowered comparatively to one another, if not scaled back. My personal rankings of the decks currently, and with additions from booster packs taken into account, are as follows. My number one choice for a starter deck in this format is the Dionysus starter deck. Despite the lack of counter runes to prevent your opponent's effects, the Daze and Enrage mechanics look to really shake up the metagame overall and have a tremendous impact on this sealed format. I also believe this might be the most fun deck to play for casters, given it's a new mechanic and who doesn't want to try out the new toy for themselves. With potentially adding extra copies of your stronger runes and ditching some of the weaker ones, I think the booster packs can bring this deck up to a level to switch in and out of its 3 Ascension line strategies to keep opponents guessing and clear the competition. Next, I would put the Aphrodite starter deck and the Khione starter deck tied at that middle ground. While in my testing I had better results with the Khione starter deck, I really think with good pulls, the Aphrodite starter deck looks to be very tough to deal with, especially if you're building more into that Locagon strategy. With another Locagon, Aphoros, and Soulmates in the rare slots, they could completely change the deck. As for Khione, I think this deck plays best in the mid to late game by trying to slowly acquire pieces and strategically using your runes to boost up a Khione's Frostbite when needed. An early Waylance can also apply a lot of pressure to your opponent, making them spend precious resources only for your Abomin Ursa champ and Glacier Ursa champ to come in and clean up the match. It's hard to pick between these two for me, for which I consider better, so I'm not going to. I think choosing either of these decks will give any caster a great experience. And in last place, I will have to put the Artemis starter deck. I think this deck has the hardest time having a consistent and cohesive strategy. While the Werepup like Void lines have proven strong in the past, this deck does not make it easy to get to Posthumous. And so, not having original Theraheart in here as an option, and then only one Champ Theraheart, no matter how good I think that card might be, does not present a solid way of getting to your Posthumous, as it has to be into your hand to ascend to it. And with only one Comalis, I never saw it while I was testing, so it makes it even harder to get that Posthumous out of your deck if you don't see your one searcher. Uh, where this deck can do good is by pulling extra copies of its exclusive runes, Rise from the Shadows, Lunar Eclipse, and Artemis Arrow, and those can make a lot of difference and keep your opponents at bay while you set up to control the game. Overall, I think all four decks present a fun strategy and would all be great choices to play during a Lifestream pre-release event. While I do like Dionysus the best right now, who knows? I may choose something else once the time comes for the event at my local game store. If you're looking to participate in a pre-release event, make sure to either check out the Play Network for scheduled events or check out the list of Lifestream pre-release events on the Elestrals website, link in the description, to see if a local game store near you is hosting one. And if you don't have a local game store to participate in a pre-release event at, but you are going to the Kissimmee Open, there will be side events of this starter deck and included booster packs format occurring that you can participate in there. Thanks everyone for watching, and let me know what deck you plan to play, or if you've already played your event, which deck did you play and how did you do? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and most importantly, go have fun playing Elestrals.